Aoba was the lead ship in the two-vessel Aoba class of heavy cruisers in the Imperial Japanese Navy. Launched in 1926 and heavily Ernized in 1938-40, Aoba initially served as a patrol craft, largely along the China coast, and saw extensive service during World War II. Repeatedly heavily damaged and repaired, she was finally crippled by bombing and settled on the bottom of shallow Kure Harbor in April 1945. Two raids in late July reduced her to an unsalvageable hulk. Named after Mount Aoba, a volcano located behind Maizuru, Kyoto, she was formally removed from the Navy list on November 20, 1945, and her wreck scrapped in 1946-47. Background and design. Aoba and her sister ship Kinyagaza were originally planned as the third and fourth vessels in the Furutaka class of heavy cruisers. However, design issues with the Furutaka class resulted in ifications to include double turrets and an aircraft catapult. These ifications created yet more weight to an already top-heavy design, causing stability problems. Nevertheless, Aoba played an important role in World War II. She displaced 8,300 tons standard, 9,000 final, was 185.17 meters 607 foot 6 in long, and carried a main battery of 620 cm 50 third-year type naval guns in 3 double turrets, 2 forward and 1 aft. Service career. Early career. Aoba was completed at Mitsubishi Shipyards at Nagasaki on September 20, 1927 and was assigned to Crew Divided 5 until 1933 and thereafter to Crew Divided 6 and Crew Divided 7, serving as flagship during much of her career. She was frequently dispatched to patrol the China coast in the late 1920s and the 1930s. Aoba was extensively Ernized at Sasebo Navy Yard from 1938-1940, receiving new torpedo tubes, enhanced anti-aircraft guns, improved fire controls and better aircraft facilities. Her bridge was rebuilt and bulges added to her hull in an attempt to compensate for the additional weight and improve stability. After recommissioning in October 1940, Aoba returned to Crew Divided 6. Early stages of the Pacific War. In 1941, Aoba was flagship of Rear Admiral Aridamo Goto as part of the First Fleet under overall command of Vice Admiral Takasu Shiro. Crew Divided 6 consisted of Aoba, Kinyagaza, Furutaka, and Keiko. At the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor, Crew Divided 6 was engaged in the invasion of Guam, following which it participated in the second invasion of Wake Island. Battle of Coral Sea. At the Battle of the Coral Sea, Crew Divided 6 departed Shortland and effected a rendezvous at sea with light aircraft carrier SHH. At 1100 on May 7, 1942 north of Taguilai Island, SHH was attacked and sunk by 93 SBD Dauntless dive bombers and TBD Devastator torpedo bombers from the aircraft carriers USS Yorktown and Lexington. World War II recognition drawings of Aoba. The following day, May 8, 1940-46 SBDs, 21 TBDs and 15 Gruen F-4F Wildcats from Yorktown and Lexington damaged the aircraft carrier Shikaku severely above the waterline and force her retirement. Furutaka and Kinyagaza, undamaged in the battle, escorted Shikaku back to Truk. Keiko and Aoba continued to cover the withdrawing Port Moresby invasion convoy. After refueling at Shortland on May 9, Aoba returned to Kure Naval Arsenal on May 22, 1942 for repairs, and returned to Truk on June 23, 1942, and from Truk to Ricata Bay, Santa Isabel Island, where it was assigned patrols through July. In a major reorganization of the Japanese Navy on July 14, 1942, Aoba was assigned to the newly created 8th Fleet under Vice Admiral Mikawagunaki and was assigned to patrols around the Solomon Islands, New Britain and New Ireland. The Battle of Savo Island. On August 7, 1942, an Aichi E-13A1 Jake from Aoba spotted one battleship, 1 auxiliary carrier, 4 cruisers, 7 destroyers, and 15 transports, off Lunga Point near Tulagi. In the Battle of Savo Island on August 9, 1942, crew divided 6, Chikai, light cruisers Tenri and Ibari and destroyer Inagi engaged the Allied force in a night gun and torpedo action. At about 2300, Chikai, Furutaka, and Keiko, all launched their reconnaissance float planes. The circling float planes dropped flares illuminating the targets. The cruisers USS Astoria, Quincy, Vincennes, and HMAS Canberra were sunk. The cruiser USS Chicago was damaged, as were the destroyers Ralph Talbot and Patterson. On the Japanese side, Chikai was hit 3 times, Kinyagaza twice, Aoba once, and Furutaka was not damaged. As crew divided 6 retired towards Kavian, Keiko was sunk by the submarine USS 44, but Aoba escaped without further damage. Through the rest of August and September, Aoba and crew divided 6 provided cover to the Tokyo Express reinforcement convoys to Guadalcanal. Battle of Cape Esperance. At the Battle of Cape Esperance on October 11, 1942, crew divided SIXS cruisers Aoba, Furutaka and Kinyagaza, and destroyers Fubuki and Hatsuyuki departed Shortland to provide cover for a troop reinforcement convoy by shelling Henderson Field on Guadalcanal. 2 American OS-2U Kingfisher reconnaissance aircraft spotted the fleet coming down the slot at 30 knots 56 km. So alerted, the radar-equipped American cruisers USS San Francisco, Boise, Salt Lake City, and Helena, and 5 destroyers steamed around the end of Guadalcanal to block the entrance to Savo Sound. Aoba photographed Hoffman, Bougainville after the Battle of Cape Esperance. At 22:35, Helena's radar spotted the Japanese fleet, and the Americans successfully crossed the Japanese T. Both fleets opened fire, but Admiral Goto, thinking that he was under friendly fire, ordered a 180-degree turn that exposed each of his ships to the American broadsides. Furutaka was sunk. Aoba was hit by up to 46-inch and 8-inch shells. The bridge was wrecked, the number 2 turret was knocked out and the number 3 turret destroyed. Other hits put 4 of the Aoba's boilers offline. Admiral Goto was mortally wounded and 80 other crewmen were killed. After temporary repairs at Shortland, Aoba limped back to Truk on October 15, where Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto personally inspected the damage and ordered the ship back to Japan. Later service. Aoba returned to Kure on October 22. During repairs, the wrecked number 3 turret was covered over with steel plates, and a Type 96 triple mount 25AA gun installed in its place. Aoba was sent back to Truk on February 24, 1943. On April 3, while moored at Kavian, New Ireland, Aoba was bombed by Boeing B-17 Flying Fortresses of the 5th Air Force's 43rd Bombardment Group. A direct hit on Aoba caused 2 Type 93 Longlands torpedoes to explode and set the ship on fire while the B-17s strafed the decks with machine guns. Aoba had to be beached to avoid sinking. After being towed back to Truk, and again to Kure on August 1, Aoba was again repaired and refitted. The 208-in gun was restored to the No. 3 turret and a Type 21 air search radar and 2 Type 96 twin-mount 25AA guns were installed. However, Aoba's maximum speed was reduced to 25 knots 46 km due to irreparable engine damage. Aoba was reassigned to the 1st Southern Expeditionary Fleet and arrived at Singapore on December 24, 1943. The ship remained based out of Singapore to the end of February 1944, escorting supply convoys to Burma, the Andaman Islands and along the Malaya coast. On February 25, the vessel was assigned to Crew Divided 16, with which Aoba participated in the Indian Ocean raid during March 1944. Through April, May, and June, Aoba resumed its escort duties through the Dutch East Indies and New Guinea. During a refit at Singapore in July, Aoba gained 4 triple-mount and 15 single-mount Type 9625AA guns and a Type 22 surface search radar. Aoba settled on the bottom of shallow Kure Harbor at end of World War II. On October 11, Aoba accidentally collided with the cruiser Kainu, but the damage was minor. However, on October 23, 1944, Aoba was attacked by the submarine USS Bream. 1 of 6 torpedoes hit Aoba in the No. 2 engine room. Aoba limped into Cavite Navy Yard near Manila, but while under emergency repairs the following day and on October 29, the ship was bombed by carrier-based planes from Task Force 38. Repairs still incomplete, Aoba was assigned to a convoy returning to Japan. The convoy was attacked on November 6 off Luzon by the submarines USS Guitaro, Bream, Raton, and Ray. Altogether the submarines fired 23 torpedoes, 2 of which hit the cruiser Kumano, but Aoba escaped without further damage. On arrival at Kure on December 12, Aoba was examined but declared irreparable, and re-rated as a reserve ship. During a U.S. air raid on Kure Harbor on April 24, 1945, Aoba was further damaged by bombing, and settled on the shallow bottom of the harbor. Rather than repair the crippled vessel, 4 additional twin 25AA guns were fitted around the mainmast, bringing the total number of 25 guns to 50 barrels. 5x3, 10x2, 15x1, and Aoba was re-rated as a floating anti-aircraft battery. On July 24, 1945, about 30 planes from Task Force 38 attacked Kure, and bombed Aoba again. At 2200 hours, Aoba settled to the bottom in 25 feet 7. 6 m of water at 3414 N 13230 E coordinates. 3414 N 13230 E. On July 28, 1945, the Hulk was again attacked by 10 of Task Force 38's carrier aircraft. 4 more direct bomb hits set it on fire, and the fire attracted 7th Air Force B-24 Liberator bombers, which hit it again with 4 more 500 pounds to 7 kilogram bombs, breaking off the stern. Aoba was formally removed from the Navy list on November 20, 1945. Her wreck was scrapped in 1946-47.